Hey there everybody, Gideon's Tactical here, doing another knife review for you. This one I'm pretty excited for. I've been eyeing this knife for a while and finally got it in, able to play with it some, do a little bit of testing with it, and tell you what I think about it. This is the Buck Vantage Force. And there's a bunch of different Buck Vantage, from the Vantage Pro to the Force Pro, and they have a couple different ones, all different grades of steel, and the designs are slightly different but very similar as well. So let's just kind of look at this particular knife here, and we'll kind of go down the line. What we have here right off the bat is just a good sturdy knife. I really like it. Like I said, I've been eyeballing it for a while. I got this one in tan. You can get it with blue, green, or tan handles, and if you upgrade to a different type of steel and different the Force Pro, you can get it in black, or kind of like a navy blue versus kind of like their bright blue. Different colors, all different styles. I really like coyote tan. That's why I got this one. You can get it in partially serrated, plain, and just overall lots of options for this knife. So let's see here. The blade. We are looking at a 3.25, so just over 3-inch blade made out of Buck's famous 420 high carbon steel, which I've come to find is a very good steel. You know, I'm always looking for a good quality steel that will retain an edge well, but that also isn't crazy sharp. I mean, crazy hard to resharpen. Buck's 420 high carbon steel is great because it's rust resistant. It definitely it'll take a wicked edge. You don't have to spend all day sharpening it. You know, you can spend just like probably 10-15 minutes on the edge once it dulls, and you can get it back to factory sharpness. And it's made here in the U.S., so I really like it. I like the 420 high carbon. That's not to say that there aren't other steels out there that are better, but this is definitely a good quality steel. I'd say in some ways I like it almost better than the AUS 8, and I really like AUS 8. So that's the steel that's made out of. You can see right away, nice thick blade. I mean, it's definitely thicker than my thumb, so I mean, it's definitely got some strong ability there. It's about 1.5 inches thick. It's kind of got this taper up here at the top. Nice piercing point though, really nice big belly. I like that it's got a nice tip and a nice belly. With this serration, I really like this serration. It's different than any other one I've seen, and it looks like it's very easy to resharpen when you have a little rod and you get in there, and it's very sharp. This knife is very sharp out of the box. You can see it's got a finger hole as well as a finger flipper. So it basically has two options when it comes to deploying this knife. You can use the finger hole, which will pop it open, or you can use the flipper. And I like the flipper a little bit more. I mean, you definitely have to put a little bit of wrist action into it. I really wish that the flipper, though, had a little bit, just stuck out a little bit more. If you see the Kershaw Skyline, I mean, this thing sticks out. It's not hard to grab this thing. This guy sticks out about half as far. I mean, they did put some jimping on there, but it's just not. I would have liked to see it a little further out. That would have been nice, because then you would have just been able to get a little bit more leverage on it and flip it out fast. It's not that fast a flipper unless you start flicking your wrist, and it wouldn't be too difficult to miss it, or just not get a very good deployment on it. But if you don't really like those, you can definitely use the finger hole, and I would say you can actually deploy it faster with the finger hole than you can the finger flipper. But it meets the criteria for both people who like the hole and people who are looking for a flipper. On the back spine here, you have an attempt at jimping. I don't like that. That's kind of stupid. I mean, it gives you just a little bit, but I mean, why not? Well, let's just let's make 3 more lines here and make this like 5 instead of 3 or 6 or something, just to give me some actual texturing there. It's very minimal. I mean, it's an attempt, and it's better than nothing, but it ain't good. I would have liked to see a lot more jimping on the spine there. But when you're holding it in your hand, I wear large size gloves. I mean, it feels great in the hand, great thickness with the handle. That's great. I really like that. The finger flipper, when it comes out with the little bit of jimping right there, grabs your finger perfectly up there in the front, so you can really get some good, good solid control of this knife when you're doing your tasks and doing whatever you need to. So let's see here, what else? The weight, I'm looking all over a couple websites, and it says it's an ounce. I don't believe that. I think it's heavier than an ounce. I could be totally off. I mean, it's definitely heavier than my Kershaw, and I think my Kershaw is like 2 ounces right here. This Skyline, I think, is like 2.5 or something, and it's definitely heavier than that. I'm going to say, and I don't have a scale with me, I'm going to say this is probably closer to like 3 or 4 ounces. I mean, it's not a tank, but it's not light either. It's definitely got some heft to it. You know, it's got the steel liners in there, and they're not beveled out or drilled out or anything like that. So, I mean, it's got a little bit of a heft. Man, I'm just jerking this all over the place here, this camera. Sorry about that. The texturing and the handle. Let's see. The handle is made out of glass reinforced nylon, is what they say. It's interesting. Has a little bit of texturing, but not much. It's kind of slick. I'd rate it up there with like the texturing of if you ever had a Rat 1, Ontario Rat 1. You know, some other different types of handles. It's a kind of slick. I could see if you got this wet, you wouldn't have a lot of good texture on it. So the texture leaves a little something to be desired. I mean, it's not bad, and it's not going to tear up your pocket or anything, and it doesn't feel slick necessarily. But it feels a lot like I don't know how to describe it, like a Zytel or something that's just kind of not a lot of texturing. There's really a little bit of micro beading, and these grooves are supposed to kind of maybe help it a little bit. I mean, I don't think it's going to slip in your hand when you're holding it, but I would have liked to see just a little bit more texture. Like I said, you can get these handle scales in different colors. You can tighten these up with a little Allen wrench. You can tighten up the joint itself, as well as you can take these off and take this knife apart and completely clean it if you wanted to, put it back together, switch out handles, I guess, if you wanted to, or something like that. It has a little bit of jimping back here as well. I don't think that really does anything because it's in line with the handle, so I don't know how that would really help you in any way, shape, or form. But not a see-through design. So I mean, like I said, I mean it's not 1 ounce. It's definitely more than that. On that, but a really nice edges, rounded for the handle, so it feels good in your hand. It's not boxy, you know, or uncomfortable in your hand. Feels really good both ways. You know, if you're holding it like in a tactical manner. You know, and I'd say this is borderline a tactical knife. Definitely either a big EDC knife. Or a borderline tactical, you know, deployment for this knife, because you definitely have almost 3.5-inch blade, and you could definitely do some stabbing and piercing if you had to. You got some jimping back here, which helps out a little bit. You know, if you're holding it in this way, it gives you a little bit of texturing, not much, but a little bit. So that's the handle itself. The lockup is great. No side-to-side play, up, down, nothing. Liner lock sits right in there. I mean, gets right in the center of the blade almost, so, and very easy to move aside. You know, it sticks up a little bit, but I'm not worried about it like my hand moving it and, you know, disengaging it by accident. Yeah, I mean, I like the lockup. It's just like any other, you know, lockup. Nothing to complain about there with a liner lock. Not weak and not strong, and not necessarily the strongest either. You know, I'd say that like the Rat 1 or the Utilitac 2 has definitely a stronger, thicker lockup than this, but I mean, it's not bad for lockup by any means. I mean, I'd put it right up there with a Skyline lockup, you know, or any others, just a liner lock mechanism, just average with the lockup for that. Pocket clip. This rides extremely deep, which is awesome. I mean, right up there, it's going to ride right up to the top, so you can barely see it, which is a lot of people really like. And I don't usually like this loop design. I usually like designs like this because they just tend to be a lot stronger. You know, with these, the steel tends to be weak right here, and these tend to be pretty flimsy, and these tend to be stronger. But in this particular design, this is a very strong clip. You know, I'm really having to put some pressure on it to bend this thing, and I'm not going to bend it. And the loop, it doesn't stick out too far, so you're not going to catch it on stuff, you know, or anything like that. So, and there's a lot of connection between the clip and the handle itself. So I really like this particular pocket clip. It has 2 little screws right there, so you can carry this right or left. So this is totally ambidextrous. You know, if you're using it left-handed, the hole would be a little blocked by your locking mechanism, but you can just use the flipper. I mean, you can still use the hole if you're left-handed. You probably want to use the flipper in this case. I mean, you can definitely make this an ambidextrous knife, no problem. You're just probably going to have to stick with the flipper. So right or left with the pocket clip, and rides very deep, which I really like. Great on that side. Closed length is 4.38 inches. Open is 7.63, so just over 7.5 inches. Open. Made here in the US of A, which is great. And so we're just going to kind of wrap it up here with quality. Overall thoughts and quality. I would say that this is a little bit more of a practical large EDC knife than, say, the Utilitac 2. Now, not to say that there's anything wrong with the Utilitac 2, but it's a half an inch longer. I'd say almost double the weight, and it's a lot thicker as well. But I mean, it's almost the same blade length, as you can see. Almost the same blade length, almost the same width actually too. But this is just a little bit lighter. You're going to pay probably about $15 to $20 more for the buck, but it's made here in the U.S. You just have a couple different options with the color, and different things like that. So overall value, absolutely. The great knife. You can get it in different types of steels. The low end, which is what this one is with the 420 high carbon, which is a great steel, but that's their low end model. Then you can get it with Sandvik 12, CK, whatever it is, 13, I think, and then their high end, which is the S30V steel. So you can spend about $100 on one of these with the high end one, or you can buy it one of these kind of lower end models, with serrations, plain. So yeah, I mean overall this is a great EDC knife on the large side. Again, made in America, so I like that a lot. Highly recommended by Gideon's Tactical. I really can't complain about it. There's really nothing that I can complain about, except maybe just the texturing of the handle. I would have liked to see a little bit better. That's about it. Other than that, I mean, a great weight. I think not too heavy, not too light. Great pocket clip and steel, and just everything about it is just really good. I really like it. So hopefully this helps you guys out a little bit. Thanks for watching. Stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.